Hi, my name is Matt Maines, and I'm an adjunct professor of mathematics here at the University of Sioux Falls. So my story begins with doors, lots of doors. It goes way back to high school. I was a high school senior. All my friends knew where they were going for school, knew what their majors were going to be, started studying, started knowing what school they wanted to go to. And I didn't. All the parents would come up, Matt, what school are you going to? Matt, where are you going to college? I didn't know. So I graduated still not knowing. In the middle of the summer between my senior year of high school and freshman year, I decided, hey, there's a school about 40 minutes from my house. It was called Waynesburg University. I grew up in Western Pennsylvania. Waynesburg is very similar to USF, so a small, private, Christian liberal arts college. And I didn't really know what I was getting into, but I figured, hey, I'll do it. So anyways, that door kind of opened for me. I applied, and literally within like 2 days, I got a response that said, hey, you're in, welcome. So anyways, I was on my way to college. And so I went down there. Within the first 2 weeks, there was an audition for a play. And I said, okay, I did plays and musicals in high schools. I'll try it out. So anyways, I auditioned for the play, and all of a sudden, when I was there, I ran into some friends, and they said, hey, we're going to go study for this communication test. Do you want to come with us? And I was like, sure, why not? So anyways, about that next day, I decided, hey, these guys are cool, so let's become a communication major. So anyways, that's kind of how my journey began with doors, is I kind of just went through some doors, really not knowing what was on the other side of them, but just kind of did it. Fast forward a little bit. Between my junior and senior year of college, I had an internship down in Nashville, Tennessee at a radio station, and tons of fun. All my friends were going locally, and my friend Joe and I said, hey, why don't we see if maybe we can go to Nashville, Tennessee and have an amazing internship. So anyways, knocked on that door opened. My friend Joe and I went down there, and I worked at a radio station for that summer. Come back, graduated school, again, same questions coming up. Matt, what are you doing after school? Do you have a job? No. Do you know where you're going to live? No. And that turned into me saying, God, you're going to lead me, you're going to guide me. And so anyways, I ended up working at a bank, living in the apartment above a church. Anyways, I'm just sitting there kind of praying, not really knowing what was going to happen. And then all of a sudden, I get a call from my boss that was down in Tennessee. And he said, Matt, you won't believe it. And I said, oh, is this a door opening? Is it closing? What's happening here? But I knew it was some kind of door. Anyways, he said, we're growing. Our company's growing. We need more staff. And we created this position. And last night, Tracy, who was the secretary when I was there for my internship, she walked in this morning and she said, you won't believe it, but you remember that intern that we had last summer, like a year and a half ago? I think he'd be perfect for this position. So anyways, he called me and he said, hey, why don't you come down and interview? So I was like, okay, I kind of feel like this is a door opening. So anyways, I loaded up my Ford Explorer, drove to Nashville. I didn't technically have the job yet, which is not like, what you want to do. But anyways, I showed up down there, and all of a sudden, that door opened for me, and I was able to work there. So fast forward a little bit, my story doors kept opening and opening and opening. So the thing about me that I love is the one door that I'm really excited to open was when I worked at a marketing company, and that's where I was able to meet my amazing wife, Susan, and we got married. And then fast forward, doors kept opening and opening and opening. And then I read this book called 48 Days to the Work You Love, and it was talking all about passions. What is your passion in life? What do you really want to do? And that turned into me realizing that one of my passions is really helping people. And so that turned into me going back to school. I got my second undergrad in math education because I knew I could help people as a teacher. So in that education department, I not only grew a passion of education, but I grew a passion of learning, and I grew a passion of helping others, and I grew a passion of math. And that's kind of where that passion started. And so then fast forward, I then went back to school to get my master's, and then this past summer I just started my doctorate actually in math education. So why am I here in Sioux Falls? That's a great question. So my wife Susan actually went to USF, her brother Jeremy and her sister all went to USF. And so I knew USF is where I wanted to be. And so when I got my master's, my main goal was to teach college, and I knew that USF wanted to be where I wanted to go. So anyways, just to kind of get a little bit of a wrap up, if I were to say anything, encouragement to you is that you might be a student right now who just doesn't have a clue where you're at. Maybe you're a freshman now, maybe you're undecided, maybe you don't know what you're doing, maybe you don't know what your major is going to be. The only encouragement I can give you is just trust in God and completely try to open up doors. So there were doors in my story too that I knocked on and he closed. And he said, Matt, this isn't where I want you to go right now. I want you to stay where you are. There's other doors that I knocked on, and God opened those doors and led me down a direction that I'm so glad I can't tell you how amazing my life is right now and how happy I am. And and just how God has me exactly where I need to be because He opened and closed doors as I was going. And the second thing is that I encourage you to find a passion in your life that you're really passionate about. So the other day I was meeting with some students and I encouraged them, they had to do a big project, and I said, you know what, if you find something you're passionate about, God will not only bless you with those opportunities to go to different places, to go to different colleges, to go to different states, maybe even to go to different countries. Yesterday, a student walked up and said, hey Matt, I'm from Liberia. I want you to work on a math curriculum that we could send to Liberia. And my mind was just blown. And again, I feel like that was one of these opportunities where God was opening a door and saying, Matt, I'm going to send you to Africa and help you teach math teachers how to teach math better. So anyways, thank you so much for listening to my story. My name is Matt Maines, adjunct math professor here at the University of Sioux Falls.